This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
All right, we'll start with an opening statement from Coach.
My first statement, and probably get me in trouble like always, is I was very disappointed in the crowd tonight. I thought the people that were here were fantastic. Our student section was great as always, but that's Oral Roberts, and with the history we have, normally when we play Oral Roberts, we're sold out, so I was really, when they told me today it wasn't going that good, I was surprised, and then to see it, I was a little disappointed, just that, this team is a very, very good basketball team, a very good entertaining team. You're going to see great athleticism, blocks, dunks, three-point shooting. So I know we're a big game crowd, but I was really a little disappointed in our fan base tonight. So having said that, I was very pleased with our basketball team. I thought that we've been struggling offensively, and we're averaging 85 points a game. So it's hard to say you're struggling offensively. We play 77 possessions. We're averaging 85 points a game. That's really good. But for Oakland, the flow of it isn't what we normally have. And we have some guys struggling with their jump shot and finding their roles. But our defense is fueling that. How many runouts did we get? How many transition baskets did we get that allowed us? I thought we played very poorly on offense in the first half. We had 50 points. So the sky's the limit for this team. I think we've got a chance to really, really be good because we're so good on defense and we can guard the ball and pressure the ball so well. We do some stupid stuff now and then, but what team doesn't? I really, really like our ball pressure and the way we get after the basketball. And then when you got Isaiah and Brad and Xavier back there, and even Jalen will block one now and then, but you've got those intimidating factors protecting the rim, that our front guys can really get after the ball because they feel confident if they get beat, somebody will swat it. So really pleased with tonight.
Questions for Coach?
It seemed like throughout the game Martez wasn't what we're used to seeing him with. He seemed kind of frustrated. So what was the source of it?
Well, that's what makes this team so good is that here's our leading scorer, our star, having a bad night, and then normally if that happens and you're in a struggle and you're trying to just find a way to win a game, and we don't care. Anybody out there can have a bad night. We're so deep. We've got so many good players that, hey, Martez, it's okay to have a bad night. Keep your head up, and the next one's going to go in. If you look at the stat sheet, Jalen was very good tonight, very typical Jalen, quiet, 18 points, 6 rebounds. But the guy that really had a phenomenal game for us in only 22 minutes was Stevie. Stevie had 4 or 5 from the floor, 2 or 3 from the three. He made 2 big threes in the run late in the half. He had 9 assists and 2 turnovers. And both his turnovers were trying to make great plays. And like I said about the excitement of our team, that behind-the-back pass he threw was as good a pass as I've ever seen thrown in this building. And I'm going to tell you something. You look at the point guards we've had, NBA, Jonathan Jones with a long career in Europe, we've had some great point guards, and I've never seen a pass like that in this building. So I just thought Stevie was phenomenal tonight, 22 quiet minutes, and so you can just go down the roster. As Sharon said, Braylon came in and really fueled it, got us going. And there's 11 guys out there. They all play. And you look at the minutes, the most anybody played was 22, and the least anybody played was 15. It's when you can do that, you're going to wear people down.
How much freedom do you give Stevie Clark? Because, you had, like you said, great point guards and systems and philosophies, but it seems like you kind of do what he wants right now.
He's getting more and more with his play, but, Stevie's got to learn me, and I've got to learn him. And we had a little run in Alaska, and, I think it made us both better in coaching each other. Stevie's a high major talent. We all know that. And he's just going to improve and get better. And he played under control tonight, played the way I want him to play. And the more he plays like that, the more freedom he's going to get. I told him the other day, I said, by the time Felder was out here, I was letting him call sets. And I'm not ready to let you do that. He wants everything right away. And he'll learn, and, it's a growth thing between us. He's a really good player. And, he's from Oklahoma City, which is only an hour from Tulsa, so I kind of figured he was going to play well tonight.
Greg, with about 7 minutes and a half left in the game, you seemed very emphatic in the timeout with the team. What were you seeing on the floor, and what message were you trying to give to the team?
Well, it became mop-up time, and we don't do that. Those 5 guys that are out there, those guys are expected. We're not going to win a championship unless those 5 guys can play. So for them to go out, and we had a 2-minute period where they didn't play. They were just going through the motions, and we're not going to allow that. You know, because those guys, if that was 3 walk-ons and some of the other teams I've had where the only time they ever get to play is in a blowout, I wouldn't have said anything. But those 5 guys we need. And I needed them to play like they did at the end of the first half instead of just going like Braylon changed the game for us, and in the last 7 minutes he's coasting out there, and that kid got by him a couple times. And that shouldn't happen. And so I calmly let them know that. Anything else?
What did you learn from your basketball team from the trip to Alaska, especially after that tough loss to Nevada?
Well, I learned that if we would just step up and made free throws, we'd be undefeated at this time against a team that was picked second in the Mountain West. So we think we can play with anybody. We're still a young team that's learning. You know, the reality of it is we have 1 senior, we have 4 or 5 guys that are playing. You know, Isaiah's a freshman, Braylon's a freshman. So we believe that our ceiling isn't even in sight yet. You know, we came back from there feeling pretty good about ourselves, and I think tonight showed that. I mean, it was a struggle early. They had 15 points with 11 minutes to go, and we had 15 with 11 minutes to go in the half, and it ended up 50-31. So we made a great spurt because of our defense. And the strength of this team is the ability to tire, at the pace we play, is the ability to tire somebody else out. There aren't going to be a lot of teams that go 11 deep like we do. So our strength is to get into the last 8 minutes of a game fresh while they're dead and then just beat on them. And it's worked. And the Nevada game, I didn't do that. We still should have won the game. You miss 4 straight free throws and then turn it over with a 4-point lead. And you're going to lose to a good team. So we learned a lesson from it. I learned, and with every team, as a coach, you learn with the team. And the whole thing is to grow until March, and then you're the best in March. And I think the great thing about this team is there's a lot of, as I said, a big ceiling, a lot of growth. And I'm going to learn a lot about them, too, in our substitution pattern.